Hey mamas, are you guys currently looking for tips on how to get back to work in your business after having a baby? Awesome, stay tuned. My name is Shaytoya and I am a mompreneur. And I help moms and dads grow their business as they raise their family. I currently have a newborn and a 3-year-old, so getting back to work in my business has been a transition. The truth is, no one knows what it's going to be like for you. So I personally can't share with you what it's going to be like for you, but all I can do is share with you my experiences, what has helped me, tips that I can share with you, and take what I got. I think it's super important that you have someone to listen to who possibly could help you. And at the end of the day, you have to decide what works for you as a parent and an entrepreneur, or possibly an employee. With my son who just turned 3, which I'm super excited about, we had to transition with our newborn at home, plus working at home. Before my newborn, my daughter was born, Aaliyah, I actually would do all my meetings while he took his naps. But with a newborn, that's very difficult to do so. And with my 3-year-old at the time, I was actually working a job. I was actually working graveyard and went back to work when my son was about 8 weeks. And guess what, guys? It was super, super tough. My husband, Kevin, he took the night shift while I was away, and I would pump while I was at work. So every 2 to 3 hours, it sucked. Just because at the time I was working a job that I made tips for. And if you ever been in an industry where you made tips or a cocktail server or anything like that, being away from customers, you're losing on possible income. So I would have to pump every 2 to 3 hours. If I didn't pump, my boobs would get super engorged. So I pumped. And because I did pump, I actually breastfed my son until he was about 18 months. So I did that for quite a while, working a job, plus having to breastfeed him or pump every 2 to 3 hours. And then I would have to get up in the morning when he got up and take care of my newborn, which was tough. And he worked graveyard before. It is tough. This time around, it's been a lot easier because I get to work from home. We've actually built a construction business. I have a YouTube channel, so I get to work from home, work with my husband in our construction business, so it's a lot easier. Today I'm going to share with you tips for moms or possibly dads who are wanting to go back to work from home in their business. And honestly, guys, I actually did a video right before I had my daughter about taking maternity leave. Life happened, and so a lot of the things that I talked about didn't go as planned. But if you want to check that video out, go ahead and click above. I share tips on how I was planning on my maternity leave. And with life, I actually, when my daughter was 2 weeks, I actually did do a little bit of work, not much, like answering emails, nothing too crazy. But, as I said, answering some emails, doing a few other simple tasks while recovering and spending time with my babies. I thought it was super, super important. I had the opportunity to work from home. So I thought it was super, super important, even during the time that I was possibly answering emails, doing simple tasks, that I wasn't taking that time away from my baby. A lot of times when I did do that, the truth is, it seemed like after I had our daughter, it seemed like life was just hitting us in the face. As soon as I gave birth, luckily we figured it out, thinking that, there's people that we put into place that they couldn't handle the work that we provided them. And I just thank God that this happened to us now. Thinking employees we had could handle the job they were hired for, finding out that they couldn't, and then also having to take out a small loan to hold us over because we were waiting for a big project to pay us. And so that was very, very stressful after I gave birth. It just seemed like life was just hitting us in the face. But things are getting a whole lot better. Like a lot of times when you're working on a bigger project, you got to put in the work and then you're waiting for money to be paid out later. And I just thank God that we learned this lessons now instead of when we're making millions of dollars in our business and it could possibly bankrupt us. I'm very thankful for that. So because of these reasons I mentioned, I couldn't take the time off as I had planned, but we learned a lot. So as I said, things don't always goes as planned. It's just part of life. There's nothing we can do about it. And I think it's super, super important that we understand that. And so here are some of my tips to help you to get work done with either a newborn, or if you're like me, a newborn and a toddler. I think it's super, super important that I just share with you kind of what has helped me. So my tip number one is to enjoy the moment. And I think this is super, super tough sometimes, is to enjoy the moment. You know, the truth is we just created a new human being, which is huge. Like, we have to get excited that we've created a new human. And you know what? Sometimes we may not be able to do the things that we did before, but it can be pretty exhausting. As entrepreneurs, we want to get back and do things right away, but enjoy your newborn. I can't believe, guys, that I have a 3-year-old. My son is currently just turned 3 last Saturday. We actually went to Disneyland for his birthday, which was amazing, but it's crazy to me that he's already 3 years old, and it went by really fast. And I remember people telling me when my son was a newborn, enjoy it. And I was like, no, like, it ain't gonna go that fast. And I should have listened to them, because it did. I truly can't believe it. I have a 3-year-old now, a newborn, which I'm super, super excited about. Tip number 2, don't compare yourself to other new moms. This can be super, super easy to do with social media. Looking from the outside in at other moms, it feels like all these other moms have their lives together. And a lot of times, like, people are just sharing what makes them look perfect on social media. They're just sharing the good stuff instead of anything that's actually going on in their lives. So for that reason, it's super, super important that we don't compare ourselves to other moms. We have to remember that every mom is on a different journey in a part of life. We have to remember that, possibly you're still working a job, or you have a successful business, or like wherever you're at in life. Like, we truly have to remember that everyone is at a different part, and it's super, super important that we don't compare ourselves. Tip number 3, schedule everything out. So I actually took the time before my daughter was born to come up with about 6 weeks of YouTube videos. And actually, guys, check out the video above to learn how I did it. And it really, really helped for me to have those 6 weeks worth of videos, because like, as I was going through all that crap with my husband and our business, like, if I didn't have that 6 weeks worth of videos or 7 weeks worth of videos, my YouTube channel would have suffered. But because I had that content, I didn't have to stress about it. And when it's super, super important, the reason why it's very important that you schedule out, because I'm only willing to schedule things out I'm willing to do on my business at this point in my life. And if it's not in my calendar, I'm not doing it. I can schedule all my meetings during the times that my 3-year-old is taking his naps, which is amazing. So I currently have that scheduled. And the truth is, guys, you can't control when your newborn's gonna wake up. Unfortunately, they might take an hour nap and then you need to feed them, or like whatever's going on. So it's really hard for me to control my newborn's schedule, because she's a newborn and she needs what she needs. And a lot of times people do understand this. So like, if your newborn's crying or anything like that, a lot of times people are understanding that most of us are working from home. No one has gotten upset about it. A lot of people can tell by her cry that she's a newborn. And also, guys, I am currently breastfeeding. So sometimes if I'm in a meeting or, of course, they can't see my face or see what's going on, I'm just throwing my boob in her mouth and she's fine. So as long as she has a boob in her mouth, she's gonna stop crying, which has helped me. So if you're breastfeeding, awesome. If not, maybe have some bottles prepared, which may help. That way you don't have to worry about if your daughter or your son cries during the times that you're in meetings. Tip number 4 is don't put pressure on yourself to have it all together. The truth is, sometimes it just feels super overwhelming. My house is a mess. I got so much to do. My baby newborn keeps crying. My 3-year-old just wants juice or watch Blippi. If you have a toddler, you possibly know what that show is. But at the end of the day, I'm super blessed. I have a great relationship. I'm healthy. And, at the end of the day, that's really truly what matters. I know that I'm going to hit my goals with me and my husband.
Be sure to subscribe to this page, plus hit that like button. Next week, I will be sharing with you on top essentials you need having a newborn.